So Marty plays the Tornado of Solos, Tornado of Souls solo differently in the studio and live. I guess he sort of refined and sort of actually simplified the solo when playing it live, which has helped him play it consistently, at least when he was in Megadeth. I'm gonna be pointing out the differences between the live and studio versions. I tend to favor the live version except for some portions. You're gonna find out soon. So it starts off with, the slide down to the third fret. And then in the studio version, he does some pitch harmonics there. While live, he just goes with. And then this something that you're gonna notice a lot in the solos, like that very first note. It's a 1/4 bend. He does that a lot in this solo. So. Notice that? It's like he lets the vibrato speak for itself. And then this is something that varies between the live and studio versions. In the studio version, he does something like this. Whereas live, he goes. Which I prefer. I prefer the second one. The notes are more definite. And then, so it goes. Although me, I prefer sliding down. I don't know, it just adds some drama for me. And then. That's a live version. I think that's what he does. Anyway, but I prefer the live version anyway. And then, here we go. When you do this thing, when you go to the B string, start off with an upstroke. It just makes it so much easier. It's something I discovered rather recently. Live, Marty would simplify it as. I guess it saved him a lot of mistaken slides upward. Like when you listen to his concerts in 1991 or something, you're gonna hear him slide up. So only hitting up to the 18th fret. And I guess it's something you want to avoid. So it makes his job easier, and it sounds good too. It has its own. It evokes something different, and it sounds good too. But I prefer doing the slide. It just sounds better for me. And then when you go up here in this E minor arpeggio thing, you kind of speed up, sort of like raking it. Well, not raking it, sweeping it, as opposed to when he was doing it like 8 notes earlier. Kind of speed up. And then there's something that it's an E major arpeggio. So what he does. Although other people do it, and actually I usually do it like this, and then just slide sort of like that, and then anyway, it's just some burst of speed anyway. here's how it's exactly done. And then when you listen to cover versions, they do some fast picking there, which isn't how Marty plays at all. He does it sort of like another example of this style of sliding with playing with one finger that's sliding is Under a Glass Moon by John Petrucci. But this isn't a tutorial for that. I just want to show another example of this. And then that's important to bend starting from the 8th fret to get that note. Instead of oh yeah, live he does it. As opposed to in the studio version. So in the studio version, he plays this note a bit ahead. Do what feels right for you. And then sorry. Yeah, I like adding a bit of blues to it. And then this one of the hardest parts of the solo, actually, doing it consistently. So the bass F sharp comes in, and Marty sort of delays it. I don't know if it's intentional or what. I guess it is, but it adds a drama to it that he comes in belatedly. But live, he's changed this to. Sorry. Another thing that I'd like to point out is I find it such a weird choice when I was starting to learn this. Instead of playing, consistent with doing the minor thirds, the diminished theme, plays this note instead, a D, a boring D. I've always found that kind of weird, but I stay true to how he did play it with a D. And then live, he's gonna do this thing. In the studio version, he does this. But live, he just does something like this. I don't know why he doesn't bother sliding up anymore when he does it. And then, if you listen to the studio version, there's a cut from that part to this part. You could hear the slide overlapping with the preceding notes. So when I play the solo, what I actually do is I try to speed up this part just so that I could slide somewhat when playing the next part. Although in the studio version, it's cheating. It's two separate tracks, so he doesn't have that problem. He doesn't have to speed up the preceding lick. While me, I have to slide up. So that's how it's done. So you notice this hand, it upstrokes pretty much all the time when it hits the high E string. only downstroke is hitting B and D. This is possibly the hardest, most confusing, most dividing part of the entire solo. How exactly it's done. He does a different version live. He starts off somewhere here. He does something like, I know there's much less sliding at the start. Whereas in the studio version, you're gonna hear him starting. He's gonna be doing a lot of sliding, which indicates that he's playing starting from here. So you hear that. And then an F sharp minor arpeggio there. And then that's when you hit this high note. Yeah, you just have to go down with that pattern. And depending on how fast you do it, the more time you'll have in doing some bluesy B minor stuff. Yeah, I like doing it that way. That's sort of how he does it live. Whereas in the studio version, he just ends with, which is boring. I like when he does it. And then this last part, it's actually how I've been doing it only for the past 2 weeks or something. That's something like this. Whereas before, I do it something like this. So, and even before that, I was doing something like this. Yeah, so it has I've been doing it in different ways for such a long time, but I'm most comfortable doing it this way now. Good luck with that.